Now, I want y'all to hear me really good when I say this. People do not become addicted to just money. They become addicted to the identity that comes along with it. Very similar to Jay Z's identity being directly linked to authenticity, people get really used to the rewards that they receive from the world for being perceived as this specific person. Oprah has become extremely used to being that moral voice, not just within the Black community, but literally that America trusts. That is her brand. So we're going to put a pin in that because that's very important. And like I said, people don't just get addicted to the money. They get addicted to the brand essentially that they become, because even though this individual is being perceived as a certain way by people, that eventually becomes their brand. Jay Z has always been seen as an authentic person, so authenticity has become Jay Z's brand, which is why he gets on stage with his little ass bulletproof vest on, and Pharrell talks about poking the bear, because this is who Jay Z used to be, the bear, the authentic bear from the streets who sold drugs and made it out, right? So he's doing everything he has to do to protect their identity. So we got him here. And now we're going to talk about O, Lady O, right? We're actually going to start with where the brand all started. Now, ever since Oprah has had a voice and her brand has been made visible to the world, she has talked about how she's a survivor, how she was abused as a child, not only in school, but at home, how she advocates for people, how she's so empathetic, how she's real, how she's really been through real life. And because of that, she has been perceived from the world as one of the most trusted people to do interviews. We trust not only her opinion, but we trust her to get to the bottom line and get to the facts. Now let's get into the history of it all, because y'all know me. We're going to do a history lesson, and I'm going to skip around. This ain't no Oprah documentary, so if I left something out, it must not have been that important to the point that's being made here. So we're going to start out in 1993, okay, when she interviewed her good friend, her great friend, Michael Jackson. She sat down with him. They had a candid conversation where she really heard him out. They really connected, really got to it. Then we're going to fast forward to 2007, right? She opened a school. Now, this was amazing. For the community, we thought it was amazing. Now, if you had any antennas during that time, your antennas might have went up just a little bit to ponder, why exactly are we opening schools in Africa when we got people who are being abused and need schooling and education right here in these United States? Like, Oprah, ain't you from these United States? Weren't you abused and starved as a child? So if anybody would know, you would know. Okay, whatever. She's doing a good thing in the community. She opens up a school. Shortly after the school is opened up, abuse allegations. How the fuck are people being abused? Of all the places, right? Oprah's school. Then it just makes you think, right? When you take a step back. You started the school. You put it in Africa, which you didn't have to. You are so far removed. You don't live nowhere near Africa. It ain't no way you can have no kind of hands on anything that's going on in this school. What was the point of opening the school? It was to give girls opportunity to do what? What was really supposed to come from this school that you opened it up all the way in Africa, and then children ended up being abused, which the woman did end up being acquitted, but it was mainly because they weren't able to find enough evidence. Whatever the fuck that means. Oprah makes a statement about it, and her statement is mainly that she's devastated. She's devastated, and this is one of the worst things that could have happened to her. To her. These children were fucking abused. Mind you, since have done nothing to help these women get any fucking opportunity. So was it all for show? I have no idea. I have no idea. That's up to you to decide, okay? Fast forward to 2013. After the girls have been abused at a school that she opened up, the butler drops, right? Now it's the butler. It ain't no big deal. It's a movie. What the fuck is the big idea, right? Who cares? We all care. You want to know why we care and you don't know that you care? Because the movie was distributed by none other than Harvey Weinstein. Directed by Lee Daniels. Anyways, so he was distributing your movies, right, in 2013. Then we fast forward to 2017 when the Me Too movement starts and motherfuckers start dropping allegations against Weinstein. Mind you, up to this point, Oprah has been fraternizing, hanging out, taking pictures, smiling, and working with Weinstein. Allegations come out. Now she's on a tour. What's the tour about? He's heinous. He's horrible. Why? Why are you going on Good Morning America to denounce this individual even though you've been hanging out with him for decades? Why are you doing it, Oprah? What is the point, Oprah? You didn't speak up when things were going on, Oprah. You're acting like you had no idea what the fuck was going on. Bitch, you a billionaire too. What are we talking about? You sitting in the same room with these motherfuckers. You knew exactly what the fuck was going on. Why are you going on the tour in 2017, 2018, 2019? Why are you doing this? We don't understand. It just doesn't make any sense. But when you think about it, again, because people will say, Oprah don't need to apologize. She don't need no fucking money. Obviously, she doesn't need any money. Her identity is the brand, okay? But we're going to keep it pushing because I don't need one. You know I like to really sloop things up at the end. So I'm going to keep pushing because we ain't through history yet. So she worked with him 2013, 2017, the shit came out. She starts going on a tour denouncing this nigga, saying, I don't fuck with that nigga. I don't even hang out with him. I don't know him. He bullied me too. I was bullied. He was bullying you while distributing your movies. Your movies that you were fucking making. Like, not that you were being put in. She acting like she a bottom of the totem pole ass bitch. Like, bruh, come on. Come on. Anyways, so 2019. Now, remember, at the beginning, I said in 1993, she interviewed her good friend, Michael Jackson, sat down with him, shook his hand, all the things. Fast forward to 2019, Leaving Neverland drops. This bitch got everything to say about Michael. Not just have things to say about Michael. She helped to facilitate the interviews. She did her own interviews for Leaving Neverland. This motherfucker literally brought people out. After this man was acquitted. In his life, he was acquitted. In his life, you never gave him the opportunity to say anything after being acquitted. Any of the things. But in his death, you gonna help to smear his name. Got it. Why? What was the point? What was the point? Quickly, what was the point? She's not, like, she don't need no more money. She's a billionaire. So that doesn't make any fucking sense. But the same reason that she opened the school, the same reason that she denounced Weinstein, the same reason that she's interviewing victims from Michael Jackson who was acquitted. Because why? Because she's so attached to being the most trusted person. That is her identity. The brand is the identity. But we gon' wrap it all up after I say this last thing. Fast forward to 2026 and this bitch is talking about motherfucking Whitney Houston, who is not here to defend herself. Why? What was the point? What was the point? To let people know you know something that everybody else don't know because you're the most trusted interviewer in America? Which we don't care about anymore because nobody thinks that you worth a shit coming or going? What was the point of speaking on Nippy? I'll wait. Okay, so now we're going to wrap this shit up. The main point that I want to make here is that it's not about the money. With these individuals, it's never about the money. The identity becomes the brand. Oprah started out as a fat black mammy on TV interviewing people. That's why everybody trusted her, okay? It was giving mammy. No shade. No shade. But that's what it was giving. That's why they trusted her. That's why the fuck they put her out of all black women on a nationally syndicated news channel because she was fat and black and they knew people was going to trust her. Oprah did everything she could to drop that weight. Oprah never wanted to be fat. So she did everything she could to shed the weight, and eventually, after everything that she did, all the whatever the fuck, because I ain't even going into that because I want to keep this video at 10 minutes. She did all of that. Now you're not the fat black mammy anymore. How can you be trusted? How can you hold on to that identity that made you so popular, that made you feel seen, that made you feel loved? Other than to do all of the things to make people continue to trust you, to make people feel like you know something that everybody else doesn't know, to make people feel like you will step down off of your moral high ground and say, I was wrong. I didn't know I was hanging out with the monster all this time. Cap! Bitch, you knew all this time, any motherfucking ways. Next video dropping very soon. Make sure that you subscribe, follow, do all the things. Catch y'all later.